Hey everybody, what's going on? We're back in some King Arthur Legends Rise. Today we're going to talk about the Burning Land, the Gorgos dungeon. We have a very free-to-play friendly Stage 8 team that farms in about 2.5 minutes. So we're going to take a look at them in action and talk about how to build them and all that stuff. So this is the squad. If you're clearing it for the first time, which is the way we're going to go about doing it today, there's something you need to keep in mind. If you have already cleared it and you want to try to farm it with this team, you can click repeat battle, set it to 1, even if you only want to do 1. And just make sure prioritize attacking bosses is ticked, because that's the key for this team to be successful. So let's go ahead and jump in and we'll talk about the team as they do what they do. As soon as it loads, you want to click the boss's picture up here so that everybody just targets the boss. If they don't, the run's going to take a really long time, and at this stage where it's a lot more dangerous to be in here, almost certainly not be able to survive long enough to kill. I think it would take like 20 minutes plus, honestly, if you don't target the boss. If you do, it's at 2.5 minutes, so it's much easier to survive. As far as skill order settings, this is what we're looking at if you want to copy that. We've got our supports prioritizing their A2 followed by their A1, and then Jarrett prioritizing his A2. Anguish pretty much has free reign to do whatever he wants to do. So let's talk about everybody's role in here. We'll start at the bottom here and just work our way up. Clementine, you know I'm a huge fan. She is my favorite rare in the game as of making this video. I've got a guide specifically on her that explains in a little bit more detail why I think she's so good and why you should build her. But if you want to just take my word for it in this video, she is an amazing healer. She's going to make your life a lot easier. She's really good. Well worth a 6-star. So she's in here keeping us alive. She's bringing the beefy sustain. Jarrett is bringing dot removal. That's one of the key aspects to this dungeon, is being able to get rid of dots. Getting dots stacked on your team is very problematic, and he's helping us manage that in here, okay? Isolde is also healing and helping us manage, and she's also got a chill on the A1. So you'll see this hand, that's a chill. Anguish, best case scenario, will put up 3 with his A3, but she's got 1 on her A1, so she can kind of contribute to the damage as well. But at best case scenario, she's supporting more often than she's A1ing, right? So if you can get a vigor set in the mix to make sure that your healers can always heal and that your supports can always do their support things, that's going to be ideal. But I would say more importantly, Clementine getting to heal is pretty important, and we're going to talk about how to set her up to heal effectively. And then again, Anguish is our damage for the dungeon. Now damage, I use the term slightly loosely here because he's not in here doing impact damage. He's in here doing dot damage because this boss takes less damage from stuff that's not dots. So that's the nice thing about this team, is you don't have to bring a squishy damage dealer in here and try to keep them alive. It's everybody in here can be built to be tanky with sustain and have the healers support them. And as long as you can keep a dotter alive in here, again, with a good tanky build, which is much easier to do, you should be fine. You should be relatively safe in here. So we still have quite a few improvements to make on this team, and we're farming stage 8. I see no reason this team won't take me through to 10 once I get everybody built and developed and get a little bit better gear on everybody, because I think when you see the gear on this team, you're going to be surprised. It is not good. We are not well geared yet. We have a long way to go as far as improvement with gear. And Isolde still needs to be 6-star. Now, he went down at the end of the fight. That's the first time I've seen him go down in this fight. I've probably done this 10 times or so before I made the video because I wanted to make sure everything was in order. That's the first time I've seen him die. So, of course, the time I'm recording would be the time he would decide to die. There is still a burn up, and she may throw a chill up here soon. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to interfere because I want to make sure they do it on auto. But again, I've rarely seen him die. So, of course, leave it to the time that I'm recording the video for that to pop off. But again, I guess if Anguish dies too soon, you're going to be in trouble, and that'll be something you'll need to go address with your build and your gear and stuff. But again, that seemed like a very random, unfortunate circumstance. I think we should still get out of here with a win. This burn, if nothing else, should be fine. And you know what? That's okay. If we have to show off a dicey looking run that still ends up being successful, maybe that's better than getting the perfect run on video. You know what I mean? Don't jump back up in here like you did something. You died at the end. You left everybody hanging, you jerk. All right. So again, battle stats, you can see your damage is primarily going to come from Anguish in here. He is the MVP as far as getting the boss killed. But if we look at the support, Clementine is doing a lot of beefy heals. And as I get her more developed, she'll be able to share the load a little bit, and it'll just get that much easier. His impact is not as tangible in the stats, but that dot removal is huge. So I still think he's playing a very big part in the success. Now, maybe at some point I'll stop trying to lean into this guy so much and make him so good and find another rare to use. But I just like Jarrett, and I don't know, I keep wanting to use him. So anyway, that's what the run looks like. Well, I guess that's what a bad run looks like. The run most of the time is a lot smoother than that because Anguish doesn't die and he just throws up a few more chills and the run ends. But that's what a dicey run looks like. So Clementine. She is our healer. We've got about 20k HP on her, 1100 attack, 1100 defense. As far as her gear, if you can do it with all life sets, that's great. If you can do it with a healing set and a life set, that's great. If you can't complete the sets, it's worth snooping around in your gear a little bit. For example, I have an attack ring on her, but it's an HP percentage ring that's giving her 22.8% HP just from this one ring. So a life set otherwise would be giving her 15. So this one ring is giving her more HP than a life set would give her, which is why I can justify putting this ring on her. So if I took this off for a 3 or 4 star life ring, it would hurt me, unless it happened to be a 4-star HP percentage ring, in which case maybe it would still be better. But for the gear that I have, this is the way to go. If you can get HP percentage here, that's fantastic. And then if you can get HP percentage here, that's fantastic. As you can see, again, I don't have that. I'm still using flat stack gear, and we're on stage 8 in this dungeon. So gear is very hard to obtain. We've talked a little bit about that. I think in a perfect world, I would either go HP percentage, HP percentage, HP percentage, or HP percentage, recovery percentage, because that's another main stat you can get down here on the ring, and I think that would be pretty handy on her in boosting her heal. So for example, if you could get like a heal set, life set, and then HP percentage, recovery percentage, I think her heals would be so beefy. I think she would be doing such a substantial heal every time she got a turn to heal that the boss would basically have to one-shot you, okay? So that's what I'm striving for with her. I either want to go all life or I want to go heal set, life set, and I want to either do triple HP percentage or double HP percentage with recovery on the ring, okay? That's what I have in mind for her. Edgummit. Moving right along to her, again, not geared very well, not great stats. I was actually surprised at how easily she survives in this dungeon. Even when I was trying to get it all sorted out and realizing where the holes were, she's never really struggled to stay alive in there. So we've got her on triple life. She's on 3 and 4 star gear. It's all flat stat. There's so much room to improve, which is why I'm so confident this team is going to carry me into stage 10 when I start getting my hands on better gear. But I think similar thing to keep in mind, right? She heals all allies, healing with max HP plus 39 with recovery over time, which is also very handy. We don't really bother with the A3. Not that the A3 wouldn't be handy, but I don't want to use the vigor on that. I'd rather her heal and save the vigor for Anguish and elsewhere, and then a chill on the A1. So similar advice to what I just gave for Clementine. Heal set, life sets, HP percentage, or double HP percentage recovery. It all pretty much still applies to her as well, okay? For Jarrett, if you want to use him, if you want to just copy the team, just tank him up. We've got flat defense there. Again, so much room to improve on the gear. It's just a hodgepodge of random gear, all right? His stats are nothing crazy, 12,000 HP. He's just there to stay alive and, cleanse dots for us. If we don't have that dot removal on the team, I don't think it's successful. The role he's filling is very important, I should say. If you have someone else that can get rid of dots for you in an effective way for 2 vigor or less, you can slot them in. I've not found that yet. Maybe I'm sure it exists somewhere. It's just so easy with him. He's so low maintenance, you know what I mean? So that's the whole kicker with him. Just tank him up, okay? Just tank him up. set his A2 to go off as much as possible so that he can keep dots off the team, and you'll be fine. And then as far as Anguish is concerned, you see 12,000 HP. I do have some attack on him, which I could probably substitute. Again, I'm very limited on gear, so sometimes I'll put attack percentage as a main stat because that's what I've got. I probably would want to replace one of these for HP percentage, honestly, or defense. I just to tank him up a little bit, but the gear's not great. I do have effect accuracy on him. It's still up in the air for me if effect accuracy is necessary in this game. The way that it reads in the game, for his skills, it would not be necessary. The way that it reads, it doesn't affect skills that say they have a percentage chance, but that could be a translation error. It would be weird for me if accuracy did not affect the skill after the 50% proc, but the way that it reads, if I can find it real quick. This stat affects the likelihood that a hero successfully applies effects, does not affect skills that specify a success rate in the description. Based on what that means, it means that he has a 50% chance to land a chill, and that's the end of it. There is no roll after the 50% proc, but it could very well be a translation error. I haven't seen a lot of skills that don't specify a percentage chance to do something, and that's why it's confusing for me. This one doesn't specify, so maybe this one requires effect accuracy. Again, based on the way that it reads, that's what it says. But anyway, his gear is not ideal. I don't really care to have him built to do impact damage. I care to have him be tanky and be able to survive and land his dots. So you would want to build yours different than I've built mine, to be honest. This crit rate set's not necessary. I just kind of threw what I had available on him. I put this here because it was attack percentage and I didn't have anything better. But again, if you could go HP percentage down the line, that's probably the way to go. HP percentage / defense percentage. I think either way would be fine on him, and let him throw up the dots that he throws up. And that's the team. And it's pretty easy to put together. It's only demanding in the sense that it's hard to get your hands on any kind of decent gear this early in the game. But if you've been lucky enough to get your hands on some decent gear, and that's a dungeon you want to prioritize, I would pull it on those 4 champs. And again, just make sure you're targeting the boss. If it's your first clear, after you click start, make sure you click the boss's picture as soon as possible so they target him. If you've already cleared it, then you can just come into repeat battle and set however many repeat battles you want to do, because you can still set the amount, right? If I click repeat battle here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, it goes up by 14. If I set it to 3x and click repeat battle, it goes up by the amount 3. So it's still the same thing. And you can set it to prioritize attacking bosses. So just make sure that you're prioritizing the boss, because you're going to have a hard time getting this team to work if you don't do that. So that's it. That's the team. I will probably make another video once we get through 10. I don't see any changes being made to the team unless I decide to take Jarrett out of it, and I don't see that happening. I'm pretty determined to leave him in the team, so maybe that'll change. We'll see how it goes, but we'll do a full complete guide once we get our 10 clear and it's reliable and all that. So that's it. I hope this helps you make some progress in that dungeon. Everybody here again is fairly obtainable and pretty easy to build. And if you don't have Anguish yet, he's coming very, very soon. Yeah, day 13 in the login calendar is when you get your Anguish. So if you started on launch and you haven't pulled one yet, he's right around the corner for you. Go ahead and get him built up. And that's it. I hope it helped. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back soon with a guide for Penveed. And that's it. I'm getting out of here. Later.